humble person. She has a very short bio that she shared. She's a public school teacher, a poet, and a poet laureate emerita of Woodbury. She hosts the Oronog Poetry Group, a chapter of the Connecticut Poetry Society that meets in Woodbury. She and her husband run Oronog Mountain Publishing, an independent press that fosters international poetry community through anthologies and monthly online poetry. Find out more about at sandycarlson.net. But if you look at Oronog Mountain Publishing, different anthologies that some of us have been in. And aside from that, Sandy is a promoter of poetry. And I think in these times, we need more people promoting, spoken word poetry community, really, coming together. And her and her husband do an amazing job. And I don't know, she is a school teacher, and I also work in a school, and I know the energy that's needed to be in that space. So I really do admire all your energy that you put into making poetry happen in your community. So without further ado, let's welcome Sandy, and I know we're going to hear some amazing work.
Wherever you want.
Does it sound good? Yeah?
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, all right. This first poem is called Continuous Song. Wait a
Turn it back a little so you're not on it. Here.
We're still good? Okay. Cool air and soft mornings, autumn insects rally with sounds foretelling autumn silence, and birds sing the new day into being. Not the robins, though. Now is the time for the tufted titmouse, saying, "Get thee to the feeder with seed," like the crows who announce the end of rain or snow, demanding that you look up, look out, see that waking is continuous song. So too is sleeping. Buds emerge and blossom, fade and fall, in shades of yellow that honor the sun, then form buds anew and await out the song. There is no great bursting forth or falling. Here all feeding, flying, eating, and rest make the one story that is every story. The doe and her fawns eat summer light whole. No fear of winter slows them in their flow. See this and hear it. Taste and know. This is your song. Thanks, Bernie. This next poem is called The Way Home in Autumn, and I'm embarrassed to say I can't remember the name of the high school student from Nonawag up in Woodbury who did this amazing pastel. And when I was poet laureate, we did an ekphrastic project that lasted a year, and we would, every time the art changed in the library, off we went. Got some excellent cheese at the reception, sometimes there was wine, it was awesome. And we would write poems, and then we ended up creating a collection and getting to know the artists and each other through the poetry. But she was a girl from Germany, and the language I used for the title, The Way Home in Autumn, there was that word that she knew, and it somehow, I didn't know it, but we had connected through the phrasing. So this is called The Way Home in Autumn. The way home in autumn glows in slow light as the sun, like a loving mother, holds her children in her gaze of soft, warm love, knowing she will outlive them, their purpose fulfilled, their music sung to the last note. You can't go back, say the arbor's colors, each leaf a breeze dancer, a storied life, while cooling flames flicker as she watches, knowing what they do not. Soon winds will come to fulfill their purpose, snuffing cold fires to ash, dressing the world in black and white. The wind's distant treetop song, a keen for all time. Now though, autumn paints life with a soft brush. The way home, lovingly rendered, a soft hush. So Bernie's amazing. I met him through another poet friend who organized an event at the Jewish Community Center in Sherman called Season of the Witch, and she paired musicians with poets, and we just had a grand old time, and some of these are the poems that we collaborated on. And Ed and I live in Southbury now. We used to live in Woodbury, and there was a trail I would walk all the time, and I swear that there was a hawk that was always at the trailhead, looking at you with the one eye, and and then you hear all the hawks in the woods, like, she's here, she's making a mess, So I had a special affection for these hawks, red-tailed hawk. Hawk silence has a vocabulary absorbed by parting airwaves that make way for this autumn-colored woodland spirit. Wide wings sweep by, you are witness and pray. Absorbed by parting airwaves that make way as sunlight descends to the underworld, this autumn-colored winter spirit cries nothing as its wings brush your mortality. So there's a bit of an aging theme here, and if you ever walk the trails this time of year, you notice that even as things look mopey and decayed, if you look close enough, you see those berries, and you see that things are getting ready to come back in the spring, and you think, well, this couldn't have happened if we stayed young forever. So it's cool. Science wonders aloud about trauma. Can we pass on suffering through our genes as much as through our storytelling? Where does memory reside in our bodies? Poets have had the answer forever, invoking the muse to speak through their souls. The story lives as the spirit breathes it. Every living molecule is shaped by stories, just as the autumn gourd sings of summer in the knobs and grooves of its sun-warmed warm flesh. The dry spells and floods written in its face. The will to survive, the first and last truth. At the end of our season, if we're able, we'll bring our story to the harvest table. Thanks, Bernie. So this next piece, this is the world premiere. It's called We Are as Rivers, and I was asked to write this poem by Ed Edelson, a former first selectman of Southbury, now a neighbor at Heritage Village. And he was very active a couple years back in the 85th anniversary of when Southbury said no to the Nazis, because the German-American Bund in Stamford had come up to the hills of Southbury to look for a place to build a military camp. And the land they chose was the Kelltown portion of town. Well, the people in town knew what was going on, and they didn't like it one bit. So they invoked the blue laws and zoning regulations to make it stop. And it's kind of hilarious because these guys were building on a Sunday, so that was a violation of the blue laws. But when they went to the Justice of the Peace to get a warrant for the arrest, the Justice of the Peace had to get out from under his car that he was working on, dry his hands to write the warrant. So he was also violating the blue laws, but never mind that. They locked these guys up long enough to push through some zoning regulation changes that said only the United States military can build military camps in Southbury. And the congregational churches in town, the two pastors teamed up, and it was a pretty big deal. And there's a woman working on making a movie about this. She's in the getting more funding phase of that process. But at Heritage Village, there's a pond that they call the 1937 pond, and that's Ed's effort to keep the story alive in Southbury. And he wrote a book called Lois's Story that has become part of Region 15's curriculum and is available throughout the state. But that's that. And when I was working on this poem, part of this is a found poem. I have some sources. Lao Tzu, the Tao is in here. The First Water is the Body by Natalie Diaz. Robert McFarlane's Is a River Alive, which is an amazing book. And Dr. Denise Bouchard, who's quoted in Beaverland by Lila Phillip. So these are the other sources. Now, Bernie also has a background in education, so we gotta have some audience participation here. And we're gonna get to a part when we get towards the end of this poem, and I'll say a phrase, and then I'll indicate to you guys, and your line is by the river.
So let's try that, Sandy.
Okay.
This comes at the very end.
All right.
And the thing that captured me about this poem is that river here is really a symbol for the joy of life, the free life, tolerance of others, the ever-changing nature. But there's one piece of nature that doesn't change, and that is we're all connected by our hearts. The Nazis didn't understand that. Maybe some people today don't understand that. But Sandy certainly understands it, and she understands it in this beautiful poem. So at the end, it kind of builds to the end. There's a lot of sections to this. This is symphonic, and we've worked really hard on it. And this is you're in a rare position to hear the first time ever kind of thing, both musically and poetically. But at the end, it builds, and it goes like this. Sandy will go.
Freedom grows deep.
And you go, by the
By the river.
Our souls grow deep.
By the river.
We are strong.
By the river.
We all get along.
By the river.
We can cope.
By the river.
We all
Okay,
have
that's
you got the
that's
idea.
my school. That would be like a C minus, you know. It's not very joyful, you know. Some of you are trying harder. Some of you are just moving your lips. The lyrics are really simple. It's by the river. One time.
By the river.
That's it. When we get there, we need that.
Okay.
But you can relax. We got a ways to go. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Walk with me and see how ponds become a river. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water, yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. A river is a body, as alive as you or I. A river is a body, as alive as you or I. Rivers bring us here, rivers carry us away. Our history is told in the history of rivers. We measure our lives as small ponds that make the streams that feed the ever-moving might of life-giving rivers. At the first pond, the solitary heron brings bright light from the restful sun that ripples the flow. The solitary heron. You are here, so you are the ripple, and you are the flow. You pour life into the living course that feeds the second pond. Pond flows into pond. Water grows like a love child, cooled by the summer shade. All life depends on rivers. We and the earth are mostly water. In water, we find our way. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water, yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. Our journey to the river draws near the 1937 pond that offers life's sacred water to the mighty Pomperog. What is a river? Surface water with some flow, dynamic power. In sacred soul peace, water draws us home. Our lives are divining rods, finding our way to the source of freedom and freedom's power. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water, yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. Here we live. Here we live. Here we live. The sun slips behind our green western hills. Soft light at gentle angles shimmers across the water that reflects on the underside of leaves. Day dances with evening to the water's edge. Last light warms the air yet. There are breezes. Leaves rustle, and red-winged blackbirds call out from the light posts and the reeds of the cattails. A hawk, too distant to be named, circles heaven. The heron, with you now, casts a magic spell and vanishes. Wildflowers drink deeply from the pond's cool depths and fill the evening air with the perfume of memory. Men and women at peace with time walk along the shore, drawn over the years to life's one assurance. Life is wed and willed to life, and the joy of endurance. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water, yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it.
You guys ready? We're here.
Freedom grows deep.
By the river.
Our souls grow deep.
By the river.
We are strong.
By the river.
We all get along.
By the river.
We can cope.
By the river.
We are the weather.
By the river.
We all have hope.
By the river.
All of us together.
By the river.
Love is alive.
By the river.
We will survive.
By the river.
There are no others.
By the river.
Just sisters and brothers.
By the river.
Freedom grows deep.
By the river.
Our souls grow deep.
By the river.
We are the river.
By the river.
We are the river.
By the river.
We are the river.
By the river.
Thank you, Bernie.
Great job. Wow, you got the most smooth chorus ever. What's our grade? Hey, absolutely.